This is the Brave Space podcast. Brave Space is a healing place for gun violence prevention professionals and survivors. My name is Dr. Jordan, and I'm here in DC speaking with Teivon. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Teivon Johnson, from PG County, Maryland. I work now at the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement as a case manager with the Family and Survivor Support Division.
Nice. So we're here on site in DC, just trying to get to know some of the professionals who are working to end gun violence, those who work in the community violence intervention field and who are doing the work. So I met Teivon through a mutual friend, and he has just a really incredible story about how he ended up working in CVI, and he's going to just kind of share some of that with us. But I first just kind of wanted to ask about just what has life been like for you growing up? So you said you're from PG County.
Yep.
Tell us about your neighborhood, your community. Tell us something about how you grew up.
I'm from originally mainly Suitland, so that's kind of like right on the outskirts of DC. My earliest memories growing up, I grew up with my mother, my two sisters. I do have an older brother, but at the time he didn't stay with us until he was about 16. So it's two different aspects of it. For me personally, I wasn't a quiet kid, but I like to stay to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was into sports. I was outside. I had friends and everything, but I kind of stayed in my bubble and like to watch, see everything going on. And I learned as an adult that it was a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So I navigated the best way I knew. I was, like I said, raised by women. My dad is in my life, but he didn't live with us. So I had to just learn kind of on the fly. And I was lucky enough to have women. I know it's a stigma with men growing up under women that they don't learn certain things or be able to adjust. But I'm lucky to say that I had some that they weren't typical. Like they told me what I needed to know. And then they also didn't necessarily try to give me too much. They allowed me to grow within myself.
For sure.
So, I took that. Once I got into sports and started really getting into my community and being around people, being comfortable, I just kind of, I like to describe it as the survival. I had to learn how to survive early without realizing some of the stuff that I had to go through. So, it wasn't too crazy that I can really remember. In respect to it was a lot of stuff that did happen. But for me, it was life, right?
Yeah.
I can bottle it up and just kind of move along. But, like I said, I think about it, a few nights leading up to this, like, man, what's some stuff you could talk about what you've been through?
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's okay. It kind of shaped me to who I am. And I built a lot of resilience behind it.
Yeah.
So,
what would you say like home life and family was like? So you mentioned an older brother, being raised by some strong women. Do you have other siblings, or what was home life like for you?
So growing up in the home, it was my mother, my oldest sister. I had another sister who's about 3 years older than me. It was structured as far as that from my perspective. I woke up, ate, went to school, came home, hung outside, or played sports, went in the house. My oldest sister was a little more into stuff. So, and like I said, growing up in Suitland, I've been to different neighborhoods. I have a lot of family who is from Southeast DC. So I got a chance to see a lot of different things and learned on the fly, like what to do, what not to do, where to go, where you shouldn't go. Typical stuff like getting in fights. Didn't have to get in too many, but got into some big ones. Had to watch family fight. We were all kind of known as that family to not really mess with.
Yeah.
Somehow, a little bit of reputation of like we cool, fun. My mom used to have parties, but if it got serious, like, people for the most part like left us alone, or they knew they had to deal with us. But taking all that, it was just, I was raised in protection. So because I was around women, even at a young age, I'm the youngest of four. And like I said, my brother at the time he stayed with his godmother, her family until he got to high school. But we were just it was always protect your sister, protect your sisters. My mom, whatever she was into was always protect your mom. So I always had this sense of help, or not, yeah, help, trying to help people, trying to take care of people, caring for people, no matter what kind of issues you have with your family. You can want to hurt them, but never allow for no one else to do anything to them.
Yeah.
So I was just bred in that, and just took that kind of moving forward. Just always make sure that I do for people.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the neighborhood? Would you say that it was safe, or would you say that maybe, I think you mentioned the word chaos, like sometimes it was chaotic. What did you mean by that?
Um, we live in a townhouse. And like I said, in my life, it's a lot of different sections to it. So I could say up until before things kind of, I guess, the curtain came down, I got to see a lot of the real things. I was probably 11 when that happened, but before that, I lived in a townhouse. The neighborhood was generally, community oriented. You had a couple knuckleheads who you might got, like I said, you get into some fights and stuff.
Yep.
Because my family is so spread out, I was in other neighborhoods, so I got a chance to see people hanging out outside, drugs. Never really heard gunshots, but that's part of the downside of trauma is that you start familiarizing yourself with it. So it's not that serious.
Yep.
You just know kind of stay out the way.
Yep.
And outside of that, odd enough, anything that did happen in my neighborhood kind of came because of my family. So if it was a big party that happened and somebody got out of line, it's probably in my house, and we probably dealt with it. People who beefing neighborhood fights, it's probably in front of my house.
Yeah.
Police get called, they probably getting called to our house. So it wasn't like we weren't chaos. I mean, we didn't cause the chaos, but we were not afraid or ran from any of it.
Yeah.
And we always addressed it. But like I said, we people gravitated to us with that too. And I was able to build a lot of strong bonds and relationships with people in the neighborhood. I found a father figure there. While my father wasn't home, it was someone there who took care of everybody, but he definitely took me under his wing with his family. Was best friends with his son. So it was a false sense of security because I was so young. I didn't understand any of the bad stuff or the struggles. I didn't have to.
Yep.
My family did a good job of trying to hide it from me as much as they could. But like I said, I'm from the perspective of going through it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as terrible until I hit about 10 or 11. Then that's when stuff really started kind of happening.
Really changed. What do you remember about what was that first thing that happened around 10 or 11?
For when we moved, that was take that back. Around 10 or 11. First time something really happened and I got worried was my brother got robbed outside our house. And I just so happened to watch him and his friend in front of in front of the house. And I don't know why. I was just watching, then I sat down, was playing with some toys or something. And 30 seconds later, he came to the house, was putting holes in walls, and we were trying to figure out what happened. And he explained to us that, someone robbed him with a shotgun that was so big that the dude couldn't even carry it. And he strategically, didn't even show that that's where he lived at. He was just in the neighborhood. But my understanding happened directly in front of our house. And
did you actually see
no,
it out the window?
For some reason, I just sat down. So it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I would have been in the window, if I'd have yelled out, if I'd have ran out, we protected, right? So I'd have ran downstairs to try to see what was going on. So luckily enough, I didn't know what happened. It like went from me watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I sat down. He busted in the house. He was mad. And at first we was kind of looking at him like, "What's wrong with you?" Then we
Mm-hmm.
looked down. Shoes were stolen. He had like some Timbs. Like, why would you
Mm-hmm.
steal somebody's shoes? But he had like some Timbs or something. He was just in the house and he was mad. And it was kind of hard to believe because I
Mm-hmm.
remember like 10 seconds before that, I just watched you.
Yeah.
So for something like that to happen and like the gun got put in his face and stuff, that was the first time I was like, whoa, like
Mm.
that type of stuff really does happen. And this
Mm-hmm.
come from me who I've seen people strung out. I've seen people bloodied.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen all type of stuff, but like knowing that something can happen to your family that close,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time. And then it was just it followed up with just a lot of um, instability.
Mm.
So like moving around after that, family kind of splitting apart, um, really experiencing like just a little bit of struggle and trying to figure out where you stay, where things would be at,
Mm-hmm.
trying to stay out of trouble while getting older. Um, so going through that process, it kind of opened my eyes. Like, yeah, everything isn't okay. So
Mm-hmm.
it helped me build a bigger shell and shield around myself.
Mm-hmm. So was some of the moving around in order to find like safer places to live? Was it all just financial or?
No, it wasn't. Not that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of it just stability. Like I said, moving back and forth from to different house, like different family members, staying
Mm-hmm.
between different people. Going to Georgia, stay with my dad for a little bit, like stuff like that. Just really trying to find footing.
Mm-hmm.
To my mother, like my oldest sister, about 9 years older than me. So once she got the chance to get out, like she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, once he got a chance to get out, he was gone. So there was me and my oldest sister. But we
Yeah.
and growing up around that time, you was kind of you got your parent, but you do what you do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I've never felt growing up it was anything that had to do with safety of why we were moving. We were in some situations where safety was a little bit compromised, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it was no one that did it. Like probably the most dangerous thing that could have happened was someone trying to break into a house and me having to like pull a gun out. That was
Mm-hmm.
like 14.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but even then, I was like lucky enough that I didn't have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little traumatic. But it wasn't traumatic in the sense that I was scared or nervous. It was like I was having to have the thought process of getting ready to shoot somebody
Yeah. Yeah.
at that age. Like when you not really like I didn't care about all that type of stuff. Like I
Yeah.
grew up
Yeah.
around it and I saw it and I saw people act like it. Like for me, I didn't really like subscribe to wanting to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like I was kind of in it, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like all the way sold into it. So I can step out anytime I want to. Like
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
have to be around it.
Yeah.
But being in that situation, um, and then not knowing if it was a family member, anything, I just know somebody was trying to break in. And my mother did teach me like part of the protection part of it
Mm-hmm.
is it's going to be in here, so you got to know how to use it in case somebody try to hurt
Yeah.
y'all. And so being in that situation, especially my sister being home, that was probably the first time when I really started thinking like, all right, this
It's
is not
different.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just you two, you and your sister at
Yeah,
home?
I was asleep, and she was up, and it was just banging, like somebody was trying to kick a door down. And then
Mm-hmm.
we lived in an apartment at the time, so you could see people walking on the ground level
Mm-hmm.
by the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she like woke me up, and I was like, "What?" She was like, "Mom at home," and some like you hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And in this community I lived in, it was Sea Pleasant, where I lived at. Almost every day you heard police sirens,
Mm-hmm.
shooting, and then people running right past our window,
Mm-hmm.
like almost on a
Mm-hmm.
regular. So that's what I said. After a while, it just started being common to me. I know at least my senses pick up that with people around or
Yeah.
stuff like that. So her waking me up and saying, if somebody at the door, I'm like, well, where the gun at? She's
Yeah.
like, I already pulled it down. Like, so she went in the closet, got it, but she didn't want to like really
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
do anything with it. So, and me being younger than her, I was like, well, I gotta make sure I protect her. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember just kind of standing there and remember everything my mother told me, and just being prepared, and then having that thought process, like, man, I almost like
Yeah.
somebody, and I wasn't going to hesitate on it. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
somebody almost got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that moment changed you at all? Do you feel like it kind of grew you up, or what kind of impact did
Um,
it have on you?
I had already grown up a little bit to that
Mm-hmm.
point. Like I said, once 11 hit, I had to learn. I had to learn how to adjust and survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already a different like thinking process than most people my age. Um, at that moment, I started focusing on like I gotta take care of myself. Um, because like I said, my mother wasn't even there. So um, it made me more paranoid,
Okay.
right? Made more observant, like knowing my surroundings, knowing where I'm at. Like I've always recognized danger,
Mhm.
but I never let it bother me.
Mhm.
That was probably the first point when I started like really focusing on every aspect of every room I'm in.
Yeah.
I started even really like take care of myself. I think that's probably like the first time I started um, focusing on like how to get money. Like all that
Mhm.
type of stuff started coming to it. And I never played like with the like my mother did a good job at that. Like, guns you don't play with.
Mhm.
And the stuff that I saw and grew up around, like, it's permanent. So it
Mhm.
was always that understanding if you're gonna do it,
Mhm.
can't come back from it. So for me, I never really like I never had to subscribe to the fact that I needed that. Like I didn't need
Mhm.
to hustle. I didn't need to stay in the street and all that stuff too, because I grew through it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I didn't feel like I had to like attach to it. It's just a part of who I
Mhm.
was and some of the aspects of it. But I always had the goal of like, yeah, this not what I
It's
want.
not for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this ain't this. It's it's cool. I got people in it and
Yeah.
it's comfortable,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
want more for myself.
Yeah.
So always keeping that thought process, getting into sports, playing basketball. Um, that was gonna be my vehicle.
Mhm.
Trying to be, and I was good in school too. So always like keeping the main thing, the main thing. And even around this time when stuff started getting like tricky,
Mhm.
um, I had something to lean on. And then I did have some people who, still was some supportive figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think you weren't maybe as attracted to that lifestyle, even though it sounds like it was an option for you just based on your surroundings? Like, why do you think you were more likely to choose basketball versus that kind of lifestyle?
Um, a conscious, honestly. And it wasn't as attractive to me.
Mhm.
Um, like I never really cared because like I said, I've been in it. So I've been
Mhm.
around it. I've seen it. I've seen the good in it. I've seen the bad in it. It just was never something that I was like, yeah, I'm ready to dive into it. And like to your
Yeah.
point, it was I wouldn't even say necessarily it was presented to me because I had people around me like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. If
Mhm.
not, you're not gonna halfway do it. Um, and credit to my family who, I saw the stuff they had to go through.
Mhm.
So for me, it was always I want more.
Mhm.
Um, and I wasn't going to risk. I always played the risk factors, right?
Yep.
I can make money, but it's no good for you if you're in jail.
Yeah.
I can hustle, but I did hustle, but if the downside of it is now you got to deal with all other type of problems. So
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough to have just a thought process of like, nah, pros and cons.
Yep.
That's always what I did, pros and cons. Even when I did do stupid stuff,
Mhm.
I tried to do it as smart as I can.
Mhm.
And I said, yeah, that was, I have that
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
myself, that was dumb as hell. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yep.
like, even if it's something that's, beneficial, it's like, man, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't need to keep doing it. You did
Yeah.
it one time, get out your system, keep moving forward.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Do you remember like around what age you were when you first lost someone to gun violence?
I was, how old am I now? 33. So I was 23. Um, First person officially lost was a good friend. Like I said, in the neighborhood I grew up in, um, shout out to Mr. Farrell. He passed. He was like a dad to me, like a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he passed earlier in the year around my birthday, and I didn't know. And that was the first traumatic experience for me because um, when I showed up to his house, I was showing up to tell him I went to college,
Mm.
averaged 25 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3.8. I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember knocking on his door, asking for him. Someone else answered the door. They left. His son came down. And his first words was, "Pop's dead." I was like, "What?" So I've lost people before.
Yeah.
That was the closest person I ever lost.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward to August of that year, his son, who told me that he got killed, who died,
Mm-hmm.
was shot by the police.
Mm.
And lost his life. I remember finding out I was at basketball practice at school, and everybody kept calling me, blowing my phone up. Found out that he got killed, so I went to his family, go spend time with them, and then Sunday, Monday, 4 days later, my oldest sister got killed.
Your
Yeah,
older sister?
my oldest.
Your oldest
Yeah,
sister.
she was killed. Incident that took place in her neighborhood where this guy, I think he was like 18 or something, was mad at my nephew, who was at 12 at the time, some of his friends. I guess they was messing with each other. Dude was flashing a gun. So my nephew ran home. It just so happened to be his neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Dude lived like maybe 2 doors down or something. Got into an argument with my sister about my nephew, trying to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
We protect us. She was protecting her son. He just pulled a gun out, him and his mother, I guess, was trying to get into a fight, and he put his gun out, started shooting. Ended up shooting my sister, and then she also shot my 12-year-old nephew while her 3-year-old daughter was right behind him. So that's the first time that's when kind of life changed for me at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And your nephew's still alive?
He's still alive. Yeah.
Do you ever like talk with him about that moment?
So actually, when the day that she passed, I went to get him and his sister to come live with me. So I ended up actually leaving school, leaving the basketball team, to focus on them.
Mhm.
Kind of had a blackout moment to where that instinct of protection went in like full blast. So I I had a house, me and my now my wife, she's my girlfriend at the time. We had our own house. Like I said, I was in school, she was working. And when that happened, I immediately grabbed them and they had to come stay with me. And then I fought them, try to keep them together. So, over time, he had his challenges, dealing with
Yep.
it. He was already, a decent kid. But in opposite of me, growing up through it, he chose to lean into it or, you know, be a little more active and stuff. But we always had conversations about it, counseling, introducing to mentors, trying to give him as much help as possible. So yeah, I went through the whole process with him. From the day she passed, the next day, I was the one who cleaned up the blood off the floor. I recaught like everything. We end up also moving twice. Went to get a bigger house after that for the kids to get out the area and be together, and then got an even bigger house after that. So we during that time frame, we try to do everything we can to in memory of my sister, making sure that we took care of as much as we could for them.
Yeah. What kind of impact did that have on you, like losing your sister in that way?
At the time, changed my whole life. Like I said, I was in school, and it was actually a struggle even getting to school because, like I said, playing basketball, I was going through the recruitment and all that, but always ran into something that made no sense. Had nothing to do with the actual game or anything, just some outside force, something happening. So after having a year like that, and actually, following that path of going to school, um, like I said, when she died, it just everything became secondary. I so literally I wouldn't be even in this position if not for losing her. I tell people all the time too that this is something that she would love to do. She was a people person. She always was involved in the community, trying to help people. She'd been through her own trauma, so she was always able to connect with people and everything. So in a way, I kind of do it subconsciously for her. But it's talked to my wife last night that it can't believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And it felt like it happened last week. So still going through the process of just my grief while still, helping everybody else and accepting that I'm still grieving.
Yeah.
Talking, like I said, talking to people I'm close with about it. Understanding that, I haven't fully embraced my grief yet because I've been spending so much time taking care of everyone else, everything else.
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to just really like calm down and relax and accept it all. But in that I find healing. You know, if I'm able to help someone else, especially who've been through something that I can relate to,
Yeah.
and understanding, right? You know,
Yeah.
one thing people who go through things they hate to hear is "I understand what you mean," or "I
Yeah.
understand what you're going
Exactly.
through."
Mm-hmm.
I literally can speak to that
Mm-hmm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
more times than I can count.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so being able to care for people and cater to people the way
Mm-hmm.
that I would have needed, because a lot of these programs wasn't around when I went through
Yeah.
what I went through. Um, that's what I use to, you know, help me throughout my process, which is a
Yeah.
slow process.
For
And I
sure.
try to tell everybody, you know, everyone has their own experience and everything, but there's no time stamp or
Mm-hmm.
time limit on how long you deal with it.
For
Just go
sure.
through it.
For sure. Because that was going to be one of my questions. Like at the time that you lost your sister, did anyone like offer any sort of therapeutic support, or do you even feel that maybe you have been ready to have or receive therapy at that time?
So when it immediately happened, I told you I blacked out. So
Mm-hmm.
um, immediately I made sure the kids were together. So I got them in counseling, and I even participated in some stuff with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can say I'm lucky enough to have a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like I said, back 10 years ago, my mentor was the first person to, you know, just pull me out of, like, try to pull me out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And while I was still trying to go through the school process and take care of the kids and everything like that too, you know, he was good to just have someone to talk to, because I
Yeah.
hadn't realized we even got even more close,
Mm.
or closer than we were before, because I hadn't known that he had gone through some of the same stuff.
Mm.
Um,
You mean your nephew,
no, my mentor.
your mentor?
Yeah. So, you know, in sharing and him watching me go through it, you know, he shared with me some of his experiences. So I
Mm-hmm.
used that at first, and then like years later, I started accepting therapy and
Mm-hmm.
being able to talk to people, especially like when I got introduced to the HVI or CVI world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, start working on myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm a very, I don't want to say, I'm not an introvert. I'm somewhat of an introvert. You know, where
Mm-hmm.
I can analyze myself.
Yeah.
So I try not to self-diagnose myself at all,
Mm-hmm.
but I try to read, you know, my feelings and my emotions and my psyche. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn. One thing I did take from when my sister passed is being vocal. I did
Mm-hmm.
not talk, which is crazy because you would think being an athlete,
Yeah.
captain of almost every team I've ever been
Yep.
on, I've always had to be vocal, and I had been in that realm.
Yep.
But personal things, it always stayed to me. Like, I'm the type of guy who walk into the room and you
Mm-hmm.
think something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You like, because I'm just so quiet and I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
corner and I don't have to interact. But since that happened, I had it like opened up my heart or opened up my willingness to really share, and have those experiences with people.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess too, the way your mentor was kind of opening up and sharing, his experiences with you, eventually maybe gave you an outlet to be able to talk through
Definitely.
like what you were going through.
Shout out to Lou.
Yeah, which no, I think that's so important because sometimes like we think of therapy as it in like the traditional way, like you have to meet someone that you don't know, like sit down, have a conversation. For some people that can be uncomfortable, but being able
Hmm.
to identify even like a mentor or somebody that you can just like freely speak about your feelings with can be really really important. So you described losing 3 people, it sounds like in a really short period of time.
So, yeah, personal.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Personal.
yeah, that was all within the same year.
Mm-hmm.
The number of people who died out there who I was connected with, yeah, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Um, and I felt like it was happening like every month.
Mm.
Um, so whether it's me personally losing family members, me losing, not me losing, but someone passing who I watched grow up,
Mm-hmm.
someone who I saw on a day-to-day basis. Um, and like I said, once the door got open for gun violence,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was a constant. Like I
Mm,
couldn't get away from it. I
mm,
always heard about, and at this time, like I said, 10 years ago, that's when police shootings was prevalent.
right. Yeah.
You know, so it's like I never had to go through stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing even prepared me. Like my family wasn't even prepared for it, which is crazy because of where we live
Mm-hmm.
and how we grew up and everything. But that opened the door to. That's why when you asked me, what was it like? It was just life changing. Like I can imagine if that didn't happen, it would be a totally different
Yeah.
everything for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Did you lose other family members to gun violence after your sister?
Yep. A few years after that, I had a cousin that was killed with his wife right where they lived at, in the neighborhood. Um, as far as family, connected family, I would have to really think about it because now I'm losing track of people. But because it's blended in so much death in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it, the snowball effect of, like, for me, it started technically with just in death, my mentor. Then the gun violence kind of started with my sister and
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine. Um, and then, like, every few months, someone passed because of an illness.
Mm-hmm.
Someone passed because they got shot. Someone else passed because of an illness.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else passed because they got shot. And
Yeah.
this went on it's still going on to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, like, sometimes it's hard for me I'm trying to track
Yeah.
who and how many people. In the midst of all that, like, I lost a child,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like,
To gun violence
no, not
or
to gun
to
violence. She passed a week before she was supposed to be born, like
mm-hmm.
full grown and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just that trauma,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that trauma compounded on top of each other, like, repeatedly,
Yeah.
over and over and over. So, trying to, like, deal with, like I said, the grief,
Mm-hmm.
of just losing, not she go before my sister, but definitely with dealing with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had that real break to, like,
Yeah.
I feel like everything. Well, I can say, like, not everything okay, and then I can process it, because a lot of stuff that people don't always take into account is that when you go through that type of stuff, or you lose people, and the adverse effect they have on everything else in your life,
Yeah.
going to court,
Yep.
dealing with other people,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get back on track, going back to work,
Mm-hmm.
your health,
Mm-hmm.
like your physical health, like literally
Yep.
your psychological health, and it's hard to understand it if you don't know it.
For sure.
Um, but it's trying to just go through the process and take it a day at a time. That's one of the things I kind of learned throughout. Once I got a chance to come back to from my
Mm-hmm.
blackout,
Mm-hmm.
it's just take one day at a time. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's never easy,
Yeah.
but it's manageable.
Yeah. How long do you think that blackout, you call it a blackout period, right? Like how long would you say that lasts? And how did you even know that you were basically in a blackout period and that you were coming out of it?
Hmm. I don't know if I came out of it yet. Yeah, not fully sure I did. Not all the way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more.
Or even just aware that you were.
So slowed down a little bit when my son was born. So that was he's 7 now.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came, everything kind of, like, my attention had to spread.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so a little bit around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but before then, I was just in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was just going. Like, I remember most stuff. I remember almost everything, but, like, even when I speak to blackout, it was my thought process and a lot of stuff. Like, at
Mm-hmm.
23 years old, I took on a responsibility that at 33 now, I would not have let a 23-year-old
Yeah, yeah,
take
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
right? But nobody could talk to me. Nobody, well, no, I didn't even, it was no argument with nobody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's, like, now looking back at it, it's one of those experiences where, understanding, like, man, nah, you probably should have better people around you. Not at anyone's fault, but if I saw someone going through that in school, doing everything they can, getting out the
Mm-hmm.
way, trying to be positive and everything, knowing that I did something that was the right thing,
Yeah.
and what some people might consider noble and everything, they didn't take the full context into it. And that's with me
Mm-hmm.
understanding that I did have the best situation
Mm-hmm.
for everyone. I was the person that everyone leaned on. Like, my whole
Mm-hmm.
family leaned on me. And being the youngest,
Mm-hmm.
like, we're not even talking about now being a protector no more. You talking about being a person to uphold everything.
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility.
And I took it all on the chin. And I didn't think anything of it
Mm-hmm.
until like I said, maybe around the time my son was born, and then I started realizing how people somewhat disperse, right?
Mm,
Not
mhm.
even saying they were all the way around, but you can kind of start picking stuff apart. It's like, oh, okay, now I understand. You know, you wasn't really, not saying you don't care, but it really didn't
Yeah.
impact you. Like your world didn't change when this happened. Like
Yeah.
my world changed, and how many people going through it with me.
Yeah.
So that's when I say I started kind of coming out of it. I was like, all right, now I can focus more on my universe
Mhm.
and my ecosystem as opposed to trying to take care of everybody.
Everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. So you were in school.
Hmm.
You've experienced like a number of losses up and up through that point, and even sounds like through to today.
Hmm.
At what point did you decide to actually like use your experiences, but in a like career focused way? Like, what made you decide to actually work in community violence intervention?
So it came through working, doing what I was doing. Like I said, I took in my niece and nephew. My nephew at the time was getting in, like having trouble with school. You know, he was an athlete, one of the best athletes in the school, but he couldn't stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So ironically, one of his coaches was one of my old coworkers,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking to me like, "Man, I know a guy who helped people who've been shot or go
Mm-hmm.
through traumatic things." He introduced me to my man Che Bullock, um, who was the first hospital violence intervention specialist in the DMV area.
Mm-hmm.
He was based out of PG, and he was introduced to the work through Dr. Joseph Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so getting connected to them, it was for my nephew,
Mm-hmm.
and me and Che immediately created a bond. And I that part I still don't know how it
Yeah.
organically happened. I think it went from conversations of, man, you in school, you doing this, you doing that. So what you need help with? And I
Mm-hmm.
was always saying, I don't need nothing. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
nothing. But he stayed on it. Um, and I remember we was talking about jobs. I was working for one company that I'm not giving a shout out to.
That's fine.
But no, I was working with one company, and he was asking me what did I want with myself,
Mm-hmm.
for myself. And at that point, I was lost.
Mm.
I was like super lost, where I was just,
What age were you?
this was about 20, 25.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm like trying to figure it out. Like people ask me all the time, what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I'm not in school no more. Like I gave that up. I was going to school for criminal justice. Ideally, I've always grown up to want to help people. So,
Mm-hmm.
firefighter, police, or detective. I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
want to be a police officer, but detective, stuff like that. Um, my man got shot, so bump the police.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal in that field.
Yep.
Um, I even took a test once that I failed by like 1 point because I didn't answer it. I answered as a civilian, instead of the logical police officer. But
Mm-hmm.
going through that process, trying to learn, like, man, I don't know what I want to do with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Che pulled me on his wing, and Che and Doc, they pulled me on their ring. It's like, we can. You already doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like you help people. They was asking about my background a lot. Like
Yep.
where we used to work at. I used to work for a community center, so you know how I work with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started going places, and having me just participate with them,
Mm-hmm.
and would see how I would interact with people, and they caught on to it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, this people like drawn to you. Like you say what they need to hear,
Yeah.
and they listen to you. So they were with a program called Project Change, and they were building HVIPs at
Mm-hmm.
the DC hospitals. Um, so after like a year, I probably applied to a couple of them. I hadn't really heard much. And
What's the HVIP?
the
The
hospital
hospital violence.
violence
Mm-hmm.
intervention specialist,
Mm-hmm.
hospital violence intervention programs. They were looking to build their own programs.
Mm-hmm.
So he introduced me. I remember having a meeting, and then I started going on interviews. Uh, and a few months later, I had to go on some more interviews, and I ended up getting plugged into how you. Actually, it was a bidding war. I was getting hired by Howard. I had got hired by Howard University Hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and then Washington Hospital Center tried to offer me like the first week I started because they found
Mm-hmm.
out that I took the job.
Mm-hmm.
But at Howard, it was no one there. It was a social worker. I think they had a grants coordinator at the time, and just the hospital staff who was
Mm-hmm.
involved in it. So I saw opportunity. to really like do what I do and grow within it.
Mhm.
Um, and at that point, like I said, I came in ground level. I remember my first day on the job asking them like, all right, so what y'all need me to do? And they said, you make it up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, like, how are we? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, this what I would do. This what I
Mhm.
want to do. This how I talk to people. And the first time one of my coworkers who was a social worker at the time, the first time he saw me interact with somebody, like he was already in the program probably like maybe a month or two before I got there.
Mhm.
Once I got there, he was like, I understand this program. Because
Mm.
for I guess the longest they were
Wow.
all like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
And it was a part of research too. So they really just couldn't understand
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
was the purposes. And that always stuck out to me because I never really like I don't look at myself as being more
Mhm.
than just, normal guy.
Yeah.
But being in that space, I had the chance to watch myself grow and then grow within people's eyes and
Yeah.
like having an audience of people listen to me. Going back to me saying like getting used to talking
Yep.
or wanting to talk for people to like ask my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, and especially working with the guys at bedside. So our program was designed to interact with patients at bedside impacted by violent injury. So
Mhm.
gunshots, stabbings, assaults, um, and to just help them get on their life path, recovery, um, if they need help with resources, if
Mhm.
they need steps to, create goals for themselves.
Mhm.
It was really just building that relationship and then opening them doors for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And through that, I was able to connect with thousands of people.
Yeah.
Um, and at that same time, I'm still going through my grief.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding out that in order to, because people looked at me and I dressed like I looked like a dude, like he looked like he from outside.
Mhm. Mhm.
I ain't dressed like t-shirt and all
Yeah.
that stuff, but they
Yeah.
was like, man, he looked like he don't
Yep.
look like a cop or a doctor.
Yep.
He just look like a dude I could talk to. Um, I had their attention,
Mhm.
but I had to get their trust.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
in using my experience, I would find myself being consoled by the patient because they were
Mm.
like, I'm shot, but look what you've been through.
Mhm.
And I started learning that middle ground of like, if I share some of myself, they go share some of their self,
Yeah, for sure.
um, for some of themselves, and then I can grow from that.
For sure.
Um, so, being able to just connect with all those guys and women too,
Mhm. Mhm.
women, kids,
Mhm.
being able to really see like real results. It took me, it was kind of quick to like really get into it a little bit because I saw it in real time. Like if I tell somebody, I can help you with getting yourself
Mhm.
together. Like, man, I need a job. All right, well, let me get you connected with a job.
Yep.
And then them dudes looking at me like, he ain't about to get. But now I'm
No,
driving up to
yeah.
interviews. Like they in
Yeah,
the car with me, we going to interview. All right, about to go to work next week.
for sure.
Like really building that up. I remember I had one guy who was shot, didn't really talk to me a lot. Wasn't disrespectful or anything, but
Mhm.
he was, reserved. And he just got shot. He don't know who shot him, why. Came back like 3 weeks later, and a whole new injury.
Mm.
And he was
Mhm.
like, yo. And on this day, I had called him to get an award called Victor of Violence. So on the day where we were celebrating him, the same day he was in the hospital for a gunshot injury.
Wow.
And I had no idea. I'm
Yeah.
trying to track him down, like, yo, where you at? He's like, I'm upstairs. So just like going through those experiences and learning how to deal with people from that aspect, I found out that I could just be myself.
Yeah.
And then being myself, people accepted me,
Yeah.
accepted what I was willing to say. And then advocating for people,
Yep.
fighting for them, following up. Like a lot of people don't realize a follow up call
Yeah.
take you miles away.
Yeah.
Like, because that means you care. Because
Yeah,
for the
for
most part, a
sure.
lot of us from our community and our society, we feel like, we just another number. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
You're
sure.
just doing it for a check. You ain't really checking it. I had dudes say that to me in my face.
Yeah.
Like, man, this just your job. I was like, yeah, but what you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah. Which I think that's one of the things I really value about like working in the CVI space is that it's very relational, and it kind of cuts through a lot of those trust barriers
Mhm.
because in a sense you have to be like if you work with somebody who's just survived a firearm injury, like it's really hard for them to trust people. They're not sure like who could have been involved. So to be able to build that trust, I think is like such a big deal.
Mhm.
What would you say is like the main way that you build trust with like beyond sharing or even the follow-up calls, like what are some of the other ways that you build trust with like survivors?
Honesty. One,
Honesty.
I'm honest.
Mhm.
Like I don't allow them to. It's gonna sound rough, but I'll allow them to play the victim.
Mm, mhm.
Right? We know you're a victim. That's how I met you. Like how we
Mhm.
gonna overcome it?
Mhm.
Um, and then also I was results driven. So if I say
Mm,
I'm gonna do
mhm.
something,
Mhm.
more than likely I'm gonna do what I
Yeah.
can to do it.
Yep.
And that was always like respected from a lot of
Mhm.
people. They always say like, man, you said you was gonna help me, you actually helped.
Mhm.
You said you was gonna check in, you just popped up on me. You got me a job. Just if I needed some money, you
Yeah.
made sure I got a little bit of money. So I try to stick to my word. Like I ain't, and the honesty part come in and let you know, like I can't do it.
Mhm.
I could try to help you with getting it, but I ain't about to, sugarcoat it for you.
Yeah.
So I think in me being just authentic,
Mhm.
and they were very receptive to it.
Yeah.
Like this a dude, I'm talking to the homie from the street.
Yep,
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean? I don't need anything from you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now it's one way street.
Yeah.
I don't need nothing from you, but if you need me, I got you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For
Carrying it
sure.
like that, then they always like took it like I
Yeah.
give him a chance. And I remember some telling me like I wanted to give you a chance.
Mhm.
I'm so used to having case managers or I'm in the hospital. I got 10 people come to talk to me.
Yeah.
I got people saying they from this place and that place and what they can do for me.
Mhm.
Like you ain't tell me what you could do for me. You asked me what I need,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was always the difference.
It's a different, yeah. When when you were talking to some of the survivors at the bedside, like did any of that bring up your own traumas, like your own experiences? And if so, was it hard to deal with or how did you deal with that?
Um, in all honesty, I deal with my trauma every day. Like me opening my eyes, it was a reminder.
Mm.
Um, so talking to the patients was easy because I wasn't trying to find the story or find a relation.
Mm.
Like I'm in
Mhm.
it. So
Mhm.
you crying bedside, I ain't gonna cry in front of you, but
Yeah.
like I'm going through it with you, man. That's what I do.
Mhm.
You can try it out, see if it works for you.
Mhm.
Um, the only time something ever, and it wasn't even bedside. The only time I ever got impacted while being at work was I was on a conference call, like a nationwide conference call, and someone brought up um, losing a sister, like something in relation to my
Mhm.
sister passing,
Mhm.
and I didn't realize what I was going through, and I had an anxiety attack.
Mm.
Like, good thing is I was in my office, and it was weird for me because I was like, this is what I do. Like, this ain't nothing new to me, but that's when I really understood that I have to deal with my side
Mm.
of it
Mhm.
because the whole time I've been absorbing everyone else,
Yeah.
just taking everything else in. Like, I've seen dead bodies.
Mhm.
Um, I've seen people disfigured.
Mhm.
I've seen blood. I've seen everything. I can see some of the most egregious stuff you can think of,
Mhm.
and it was like it really didn't move me.
Mhm.
And I think in that aspect, when you're seeing your loved one at bedside,
Yeah.
no one else can really impact it that bad. So um, I went into gear of turning it to from protective role into a supportive role. And, you know what I mean? I got you. Like, and
Mhm.
I always try to tell people that, like, I got you. Like, it don't matter. If we can share with each other to help me out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Learning your life story, man, we relate.
Mhm.
I grew up
Mhm.
10 minutes from you. I know that's like, oh, I know that's the scary ones when you know the
Yeah.
same people.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's my folks. Or seeing your people at bedside.
Yep.
That's another thing that I had to kind of deal with and really understand um, how to protect myself from um, any breakdowns or anything like that.
Yeah.
How to really pull myself into it and really focus on what I can focus on. And like I said, going through the process of helping people, I was feeding it to myself, and then I would find things to do. So like I end up picking up boxing,
Mhm.
um, full workout and everything. Like, being a fitness coach and stuff like
Yep.
that. So I tried little things for the release, but I did pour into as much people as possible, and it
Yeah.
was a good way for me to hide my own pain.
Mm.
Right? If I'm
Mhm.
so focused on everybody else, I can't
Mhm.
focus on what I got going on. The
Mhm.
quiet times was what hurt me.
Yeah.
If it's too quiet in my mind, thinking like car rides,
Yeah.
sometimes I bust out crying out of
Yeah.
nowhere in the shower.
Yep.
Just, so I had to learn how to like really deal with it and really learn to not allow myself to take in so much without releasing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like that was a process you had to learn over time? Did like someone teach you, or did you have to kind of figure out what works best for you?
All of it,
All of it.
all of
Yeah.
it. My experience of being in the work, I had to go through all type of trainings,
Mm-hmm.
get different certificates, had to go different places, experience different things,
Mm-hmm.
taking some time out to get a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
um, speaking to people within the work
Mm-hmm.
who can understand,
Mm-hmm.
um, finding certain things that works like solely for me, even if it's for like a minute of
Mm-hmm.
my day. The whole 24 hours, I get a minute to myself. Um, and just being patient.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing I had to learn
Yeah.
with myself. I had to learn patience.
Patience with yourself.
I had to learn patience with
Yeah.
myself. I had to also learn to forgive myself.
Mm-hmm.
One part of the story I didn't tell was the day that my sister got killed. She wasn't supposed to be home. I was on the way to pick her up, or getting ready to go pick her up to go see my friend's mom who had just died a few days before.
Mm.
So for a little while, I had to deal with that aspect of it. Like I should have been there,
Mm-hmm.
and over time and understanding that, God planned to work the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't accept it, but I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and forgiving myself to know that I can't control anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm just one piece of the whole universe.
Yeah.
So some stuff that I wish I can do, I always play this stuff back in my mind. Because to the point of I have no idea what life would be like right now.
Yeah.
So once I got to the point of like saying it's okay, man, like it's a reason you wasn't there, because I
Mm-hmm.
can only imagine if it was me who died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my oldest sister, like, she raised us,
Yeah.
a big part of raising us. So not only did I lose sister, I kind of lost a little bit of my mom too.
Mm-hmm.
That would have took her out.
Yeah.
I lost my god sister a year after my sister because they were so close.
Mm.
She just got sick and just died. Like
Mm.
there was nothing even going on. It was the most random stuff
Yeah.
that ever happened, but she was going through it so bad. So understanding that type of stuff
Mm-hmm.
happens, I stopped disrespecting what she did, because she died and doing something that she believed in, and that was all
Mm-hmm.
protecting her kid.
Yeah.
So um, I stopped trying to think in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can understand it could go any type of way. And if I was supposed to be there, like for example, I was sitting on the couch like this in my
Mm-hmm.
house watching TV. I didn't have class that day, and I was like, all right, at this time I'm going to go pick her up. And I felt like somebody just had their hand on my shoulder.
Mm.
No, just wait. Anything
Mm.
could happen that day. I'd have never met you,
Yeah.
because I know being in that situation, I probably would have been, either I'd have got shot or I'd have killed the dude. So
For sure.
so we never can control it, but being able to understand that I went through that, and to, like I said, I don't like saying accept it, but knowing
Mm-hmm.
that, I can't control everything,
Yeah.
like, it
For
kind of helped
sure.
me out through my healing process.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you were working for a HVIP, and then at some point you transition into the role that you're currently in today. Can you kind of describe what your role is now and the work that you do?
So it's very similar to what I did at the HVIP. Like I said, I'm at the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, and I'm with the Family and Survivor Support Division.
Mm-hmm.
So we help the same victims that the hospitals get,
Mm-hmm.
not all their victims, but because it's more catered to gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in addition, we help families who lose loved ones due to violence
Mm-hmm.
and gun
Mm-hmm.
violence. So it's my job to give them all the support and resources they can use,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's burial support, funeral support. Uh, they need help with safe relocation due
Mm-hmm.
to the incident that happened. Uh, they need help with counseling, help with kids, um, trying to use outside resources. Some people got
Mm-hmm.
connected with jobs. Um, getting reconnected with other government agencies. Like
Mhm.
what I try to explain to people now is that you can think of us as the tree and we branch out.
Yeah.
So if we might can't do everything because we limited based on our circumstances, but being in our position, we can help reach out to a lot of different people and help out. So
Yeah.
helping people find housing, um, building those relationships,
Mhm.
so that people get full wraparound services. My division, particularly, we mostly work in the immediates. So
Mhm.
we try to do everything we can within a month and a half to get you on the right path,
Mm.
moving forward.
Like immediately after an incident
Immediately after
instead of
incident.
it.
So we
Yeah.
try to we hang on to you as for like I said up to a month and a half. We can hang on longer depending on circumstances,
Mhm.
but we try to get you everything you can and put you in a position to go into something long term,
Mhm.
or at least address all the needs that you
Mhm.
have. And even getting to the one's office, it was based on relationships.
Mhm.
Me being at the hospital, working with people from the one's office, building my name, my reputation.
Yep.
It was, they called me. Like
Mhm.
another situation. Like I said, I didn't choose this work.
Kind of chose you.
It literally
They
chose me.
chose
It
you.
pisses
Yeah.
me off every
Yeah.
day because I'm trying
Yes.
to figure out, like, man, how did I get here? Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
This ain't really like I'm lying if I'm saying it's not me
Yeah.
because I do find something in being able to help people,
Mhm.
but I'm such a in the background type of person that somehow being in this work, I'm almost in the forefront of
Yeah. It
everything.
pushes you to the front.
So and learning that, I'm accepting it now,
Mhm.
using my connections and resources and or being the face
Mhm.
of certain things.
Mhm.
Plus another thing too, that was something that my sister used to press me out about. The one that passed, she always wanted me to go like modeling or movies or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
So everything that she wanted me to do,
It's like pushing you out there.
it's her. Like I said, it's not even me
Yeah.
right now. It's all her. I'm not even trying to have her live through
Yeah.
me, but I'm moving in the path that she wanted me to go.
For sure. Do you ever sometimes feel like working with family and survivors? Like, does work ever feel hopeless? Because our organization, we work with the youngest survivors of gun violence, so 26 and under, and sometimes their circumstances are so like complex that it could almost seem like how am I going to help them? They need, to relocate for safety. They need finances to help with the relocation and also housing. But then maybe they have young kids that they're trying to provide for. On top of like based on their injuries, they may not be able to immediately get a job. And then of course like the mental health aspect after being shot, like they may not even want to really leave the house to go find a job. So it's like, and then they may not have family support. So it's like all of the wraparound services that you're describing that your job helps to provide. Sometimes it could seem like even with all those resources available, like, am I going to be able to help this individual actually like navigate this situation and get to a better place? Like, do you ever feel a sense of like hopelessness in this work?
No, I think the toughest part is that I just said this to my coworker earlier. I hate that I had this job
Mm,
because that means we
mm-hmm,
dealing in the continuation of violence. Right?
mm-hmm,
I would
mm-hmm.
prefer to not do this. If
Yep.
I'm being honest. Um, but I find it's hope. It's hope there. It's always hope because people have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a big aspect of how I deal with it is I try to help people build their resilience. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
it's never really been a situation like I do as much as you can, as
Yeah.
much as you want to do, I
Yeah.
should say. So the hopeless doesn't fall in place for me because what do you want out of it? Like what do you
Mm-hmm.
need out of it? If you don't see better for yourself, like I can't. It's not so much I can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I guess you could say I can have the ability to get people out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I pride myself on being like results driven. Right. I don't you can't do this and treat it just as a job. Like
For sure.
you have to interact with it. It has to mean something. Because if not, something wrong with you if you want to do this and
Mm-hmm.
you just collecting the check.
For sure.
Like, this is
It's not that kind of,
like saying I'm gonna go
yeah.
pick up dog,
Yeah.
just
Yep.
cause, but nah, you're
Yeah.
trying to help the
Yeah.
ecosystem,
For sure.
so I help people get in to reach their goals.
Mhm.
Um, I don't allow people to give up,
Mhm. Mhm.
and in that I learned that I can't push people.
Mhm.
So it sounds cliche, but being there for a lot of them is usually enough, and then
Mhm.
being honest with them. Like
Yeah.
I can honestly tell somebody when they full of it.
Mhm.
Like stop holding yourself in this situation,
Yeah.
right? Like we grieving, we gonna grieve, or we traumatized. It
Mhm.
hurts,
Mhm.
but for my survivors, you survived it,
Mhm.
right? That's usually step number one
Yeah.
because, and that's how I used to break it down to people. Like my folks,
Yeah.
they're not here, so they lost.
Mhm.
You didn't, you hurt,
Mhm.
but you can come from it. And then for the families who actually lose loved ones, um, I then that's when I use me.
Mhm.
And then I think that might be the one thing that help them out because I get
Yeah.
a lot of people who I interact with. I talk to them about what I do, what I've overcome, what I'm going through. I was about to say overcome.
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
overcome. I've
Yeah.
overcome a
Yeah.
lot. But they get interested.
Mhm.
How do I do that? Like, how can
Yeah.
I help you? I see
Yep.
what you're doing. How do I volunteer? So I never really feel like you know someone's a lost cause
Yeah. Yeah.
because it usually if they are in that state, it was way before the injury happened,
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
before the incident happened. Like
Yeah.
you in this place um, that has nothing to do with like you say you don't feel safe being shot, but you weren't even shot at home,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So why don't you feel safe at home?
Mhm.
Or you need housing.
Mhm.
You need housing because you got injured, which you was 2 months behind rent,
Mhm.
way before the injury.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I meet them where they at,
Yep.
and then meet them where they at. Like I don't leave room for you to, and I'm not big on enabling people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want you to be stuck in your situation. Like we are so much better and so much more that was presented to us
Mhm.
that I'm we gonna get through it together.
For sure.
Or, and this sound cold, but we gonna be in this situation again.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
figure it out.
Which is that honesty.
Just being
Is
honest with you,
yeah.
I don't want you to. It's not cool being here. It's not
Yeah.
cool being. I
Yeah.
know what it's like being down. I
Yeah.
know it's like the hurt. I know it's like the pain. And just because I got through my situation, or I'm getting through my situation, don't mean you got to follow the same path.
Mhm.
But you can't tell me it's impossible.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
it's possible, you can do anything, and you still got breath.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
goes the same for the people who lose loved ones. Like you still breathing, you still here.
Mhm.
Like if that person means that much to you, keep it going for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's almost like your life and your experiences themselves are a type of hope, right? That you can offer. Like, this is what I've been
Mm-hmm.
through, or these are the people that I've lost. You're still here, so there's still a pathway forward for you. How do you feel like the recent funding cuts are already impacting your ability to like provide these wraparound services? Like, what do you see as the future for your work?
It's frustrating because it's now we talk like on real conversation wise, like we know what the problems are.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to address them, and we keep trying to sugarcoat it
Mm-hmm.
or dance around it or trying to find new creative ways to do something the same exact way that's
Mm-hmm.
going on somewhere else. Um, it's odd enough. I've been in situations where the budgets weren't for us specifically,
Yeah.
right? So I can't speak to everyone. And the general is it's going to do nothing but make things worse.
Mm-hmm.
But from life experience through tragedy, you can find triumph.
Yeah.
So you can go through certain experiences, and that crutch is not going to be there. It's an opportunity for you to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like even for our team, our division, I'm used to working with little,
Yeah.
and overcome it. Like a lot of our resource connections between me and you on your podcast, it's
Mm-hmm.
not coming through the agency.
For
It's
sure.
coming through the relationships and connections that's
For
been made.
sure.
So we adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's just a testament of what's been going on this whole time.
Yeah.
You can wallow, you can be sad, you can be
Mm-hmm.
down, you can be frustrated, but you're still here.
Yeah.
And if you're still gonna be here, do something about it.
For
And
sure.
someone had to like pull me through it. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, coming out that dark space, that was one of the conversations I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you still here though. And
Yeah.
so No excuses. You have a million excuses in the world
For sure.
for everything. But what's that's gonna help?
For sure.
If it can't help, then let's find a solution.
For sure.
And it don't have to be an immediate solution. That's what a lot of people get it confused, is that we think that something has to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take your time, build up to it.
Yeah.
And if you're understanding the pressures of society, everything that's going on, it's scary.
It is.
That's the worst part about it. We don't know. I don't know if I'm have a job. You
Yeah.
never know what's going on, especially with this administration. But I've learned that if you still breathing, you still have hope. It might be a little bit of a cliche, but that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, going through certain experiences, that's how my personal experience helped me approach my professional life. So that the budget cuts, it's going to impact, because it's some stuff that we try to do for people that's simple, that's needed, that's necessary, that's needed. But ain't nothing we can do about it. They take it, we adjust. The same way we've been doing in our culture for hundreds of years.
Yeah, for a long time.
We adjust to it. You give us scraps and we make gourmet with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I take that same concept into everything. So for me, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to work it out.
For sure. What do you see as like the next steps for you, like in your work? Do you plan to stay in the CVI field? Like, do you have other interests? Like, what would you say are your next steps?
That's a great question, because I have this conversation with myself every day.
Do you?
So I found a talent in being able to connect people, right? So whether it's direct connection from me, being able to put people in a room, understanding, assessing situations. I think my goal is to provide that type of wellness for people. Right? Like I said, I'm in boxing and fitness and coaching and everything. So connecting all of that together within health just in general. It's within helping the communities, individual people in power positions. And I can start up. So of course, is impact the people who've been directly impacted, trying to support them. The programs who oversee people, trying to give them the tools or the knowledge and knowing how to really deal and navigate with certain people. And then the people in leadership positions or the power players, showing them the importance of addressing these issues and how we can benefit from addressing the issues. That is a great question, because I still, at this very point, don't know. I'm still in my grieving state.
Yeah.
Which is a interesting place to be in, because I do see my worth in this work and how many people I impacted and helped. But if you ask me what I want to do, I just want to help. In all aspects of people. If I could just help, I don't see myself being frontline for a long time. Like I see myself either running something or doing trainings and stuff. But if you ask me like, what's your plans? So I taught myself. I was watching something one time and learning about what it is to be in today. The past already happened, so we can't change it. The future not here yet, so it's nothing to worry about. And today is the present. It's our gift. So I take each day as a gift. I take a little bit, grow from it, learn from it, move it to the next one. So I don't even look too far down the line.
Yeah.
Like I got in this position. Shout out to the people who had those positive influences on me. First, definitely my wife.
Yeah.
Because she's been with me every step of the way. My family who've been through it with me. My mentor Lou, Shay and Dr. Richardson. Everybody who I encountered, like my coworkers at Howard, the people I work with at the One's office, they've helped me like go through this path, and they didn't really put anything on me to go through it. Like I've been just stepping, and not even realizing I'm thinking I'm stepping forward and I'm stepping up.
Yeah.
So I'm interested though. I have a little bit of optimism seeing what's taking me next. 'Cause I never, like I said, I never expected to be here. Never expected to be in this situation. I never thought I'd be talking to people about their trauma. Never thought I had to deal with my trauma. Um, I never wanted to be in the space of dealing with people in this aspect. But if I be honest with myself, I always wanted to help people.
Yeah.
So how does that look? It's interesting to
Figuring
see
it
where it's
out.
going to get to.
Yeah.
But I do see that I'm taking steps up. I don't know where's the next step up.
Yeah.
We'll see where it's going to get to. But and then learning that patience in myself. And, you know, like I said, I use that word a lot because one thing my mentor used to always tell me is that he's always say to me, "Stop trying to be a damn perfectionist." Right? Like everything got to be right. You know, not me as in my thought process and stuff, but everything I do has to be perfect, has to be right. I have to make sure everyone is okay. Everyone's in this place. This is going this way. And let the reins go a little bit and enjoy your breath because going through that state of just not being present for almost 2 years, 3 years, that's a little troubling, you know. And then having a therapist to talk to. Shout out to Edward, my therapist. You know, he was very instrumental in just having someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And you know, learning the benefits of having someone to talk to, even if they don't have to say anything, but for you to get some stuff out. And just having that experience, like I said, I have no idea where it's going, but I am excited to know that I'm not letting what I've been through like keep me down.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I haven't made that excuse.
For sure.
And I think that's why I'm so stern with people I work with. Right? Because I was there. Like, you know, I used to just work. Just work, come home. Work, come home. I already gave up my dreams. I already gave up my education. I mean, I did get like an associate's degree, but you know, just like, and I was in that constant state of just doing the same thing over and over. And then I had physical injuries that I had to overcome. So now I'm dealing with trauma on top of personal stuff. Stop making this like it's okay. Not even about excuses, but it's okay. Like you'll get to it, and then over time, you'll find that strength again. You know, and you'll keep growing.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate all of your honesty. We've been doing a lot of these interviews for people who are working on the front lines, just to give them the opportunity to share their experience, because we know, like within CVI, part of what makes the front line credible is the lived experiences, but that often comes with a lot of trauma, and sometimes that trauma is unprocessed. And we know that oftentimes people are trying to heal through the work, but it's also good to be able to just elevate their voices and experiences and stories so that other people can hear, you know, what it's like to kind of navigate different situations. And then also, just for our audience of like survivors, like those who may be feeling like, okay, what's next for me? Like, based on everything I've experienced or witnessed, like, how can I have a meaningful life moving forward? Like, that's probably one of the number one questions we talk about in therapy, because it's like, you know, this major injury has happened to me, and now I don't know what my purpose is, what my worth is. I'm trying to figure it out. I can't trust people. It's almost like starting over. And there can be a lot of fear that comes with starting over. So, I appreciate you just opening up this conversation. And is there any last thing that you want to share? Maybe if there's something that you want to get across that we missed over, or just any piece of advice that you have for the audience.
Every day is just an opportunity. I used to always something I used to tell my clients at the hospital. Um, just imagine your experience being an avalanche. Right? You got to crawl out of it to survive.
Mhm.
And you keep crawling to get over it. You might run into another avalanche. You got to do the same thing over again. You might run into another avalanche. Throughout that process, you're being stripped.
Mhm.
So keep getting stronger. Take those bad or those troubling times and those opportunities to build strength within yourself.
Mhm.
Because you're going to look back on it and you're going to be at the top of the mountain.
Mhm.
And after everything you've been through, after every crawl, after every force that you've pushed through.
Mhm.
So don't just don't give up. Just keep going. Like it's a reason why we still breathing.
Mhm.
Especially if you was able to survive a traumatic injury, getting shot, anything like that. Like you still here.
Mhm.
And at every breath, it's every opportunity. You know,
For
so
sure.
just take that into consideration and find your purpose. The journey of life is not to be scripted.
For sure.
It's for you. You have a destination, but the beautiful part of it is going through it,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Figuring yourself out, learning who you are, and learning how great you can be.
Yeah.
And also, most importantly, don't compare yourself to no one else.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's a
know,
good one.
you are unique in the universe. I don't know how many stars and how many galaxies and how many
Mm-hmm.
planets. Like, you're unique because there's
Yeah,
only one you.
for sure.
You know, so take advantage of that, and just keep going. Like, you'll get there. We all get there at some point.
Yeah, nice. Well, again, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This is the Brave Space podcast. Brave Space is a healing place for gun violence prevention professionals. We meet, we process, we heal in community.